we have a couple of really good tweets, but in my opinion, y'all, this is arguably the biggest, man, from Chris Vanini here, but also too, it's across the board is being talked about right now. Big news in college sports: the D1 cabinet has approved a new age-based 5-year eligibility model. 5 years of eligibility, no red shirts or extensions. So no. So does that mean no injury red shirts either? Nothing. You get 5 years.
It sounds 5 and 5. Like that's,
5 and 5.
if you get injured 5 years in a row, that's on you.
Yeah, because it also says right here the only exemptions are for pregnancy, military, or mission trips, basically. And so the clock starts at 19 years old or college enrollment, whichever comes first. So, I mean, Ethan, I think really this just comes down to just really just simplifying the whole process here, and also too as well with the NIL model and NFL things like that. Just let's just keep it simple. Just you get 5 years, boom.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of clarity here, right?
Mhm.
There's no questions, there's no, like you said, there's no exceptions, right? You know the exceptions going in. If you get pregnant, if you're in the military, if you go on a mission trip, which I'm pretty sure just applies to the Mormons, if I'm not mistaken.
Mostly,
I
yeah.
haven't heard
Yeah, I
I
don't know
haven't
any
heard of that in
women do
another
that.
situation.
It's gonna be really hard for men to
So
get pregnant too, so.
Well, I'm
Boy,
kidding.
oh
We're not
boy.
going there. We're not going
Oh,
He's
man.
joking. He's joking. Sorry. Go ahead.
And cut.
now I lost my train of thought. I can't top that.
Yeah, I was like, it's not happening.
Oh,
Sorry.
Yeah,
yeah.
it clears it up though. Like you know going in, and there's no need to, oh, I need to redshirt, I need to sit out, all this other stuff. No, you don't. Guys get an extra year. I like that they did not grandfather in this year's seniors. I think that would have been a real mess.
Yeah, we had that problem with COVID, didn't we?
Mhm.
Right, right, and that one was different across sports, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah, I like it. It's definitely a change, but it feels like a change that will be for the better. And in 2 years, we'll be sitting here saying, "Man, why didn't this happen sooner?"
Yeah.
So I guess
I mean,
go
go ahead,
ahead.
Macon.
Well, my thought is, to me, I think this is a win for college athletics and like the quality of games, because those are guys. I was texting some other buddies of mine. There's guys on, I can think of, on the basketball and football side that think about, like, they're not eligible now, obviously, but they like, if this rule been applied to them, like a Mo Diarra, like this would have been huge for a guy like him to come back, or a Casey Morsell on the basketball side. You know, even back 10 years ago, like, I don't think CJ Leslie didn't get drafted in the NBA, like, or Scott Wood didn't get drafted. Like, those have been huge things. Football side, longer draft, but there's a bunch of guys that you could see, hey, their draft stock, like a Kelvin Harmon, he could have come back, when he was available. I'm just kind of curious, does that mean a guy like Paul McNeil's got 2 years, hypothetically, if he wanted to stay, which he's not going to, because he's probably his draft stock's too high, but something like that would be pretty awesome for NC State basketball.
Well, they
I
cleared that up. They put that into the, like, there's another screenshot that kinda goes with this, but, um, they don't get, like, if this is their 3rd year, they don't get 2 more once this is enacted.
Oh,
Like,
okay. So it's not like they're a junior now.
yes. So,
Okay.
basically, it goes into effect now, but it really pertains to next year when that class comes in, um, with the age-based and all of that stuff.
Right.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, how, like, some of those guys that are fringe draft picks, it gives them another option to come back for another year. I just think the one question I had, I did not see it clear for me, was, does this include injuries?
So, yes, it's 5 and 5, no matter what
No matter
happens.
what. Okay. Okay.
Now, the one question I have, if I can
That
jump
seems
in
a
real
little,
quick.
yeah. I feel like sometimes if someone gets, like, really hurt, there could be exceptions there, I would wonder. But in this case, the wording is there are no exceptions. So
Yeah, my
And you
only
whatever.
can't start
question.
with exceptions. You can't start with
Correct,
exceptions because that's when you
correct.
open it up. So
Right.
this
Pandora's
has to
Exactly.
be it.
box.
Like, this has to be there's no exceptions.
Yeah.
Yep.
My only
I
I'm
think it's a good thing for basketball sports.
and
So go ahead.
and I would assume this is 5 and 5 consecutive years. Like, I don't
Oh
like,
yeah.
to that point, like, if you get injured, that doesn't count against you, or if
With the
you
exemptions being
or if you go
military or
professional, that doesn't mean you can come back, right? I think that's the big thing, especially with the whole basketball situation. That's kind of
Mhm.
was starting to get out of hand a little bit. I think that kind of addresses that problem there with this eligibility rule.
Well, and also too as well, I think that honestly from a coaching perspective, and like I think this really opens up everything because now it's not a well, like, which I think we all have agreed that now in today's day and age, there's no reason to redshirt anybody. Just l- just don't even worry about it. Just put the best 11 players in basketball, or sorry, in football on the field, put the best 5 players on the court, period. But so now it's even more so like, yeah, like there basically is no red shirting. There is no, well, should we burn his red shirt? Like, nope, just if
Just
if
play.
if he's the best option to make the play, put him out there, period.
yeah.
So,
I
um,
think it's good for the college athletics. I think the quality of the sports will go up, because
mhm.
guys are gonna stay longer that
Yeah,
didn't have the option to
and they'll
otherwise,
get
so.
paid. I
Well,
think Macon. I think we saw that with COVID, right? When guys were able to stay, you
Yeah.
saw the caliber of games kick
when you
up.
had COVID plus NIL, right?
Yeah, yeah, both of those at the same time. Obviously, now
Yeah.
you've
This is
got
a good
another.
thing, it's really the takeaway. It's just a good thing for sports.
I
Now I
I
guess
think Go ahead,
but
Macon.
no, I was gonna say, like, I wonder how the players feel about this. Like, we as fans like it. Maybe you mentioned clarity there, Ethan, like, if this brings clarity. Wonder how the players feel about this because I don't know. I'd be curious about that. So
If I remember correctly, Dave Dorn was in favor of this. I think I remember him saying something not too long ago when they were talking about this, because now it just, as someone said, I don't remember who, that you just go play the best guys, whether they're a freshman or a senior, right? You don't. Now again, the NIL changes everything from a year to year perspective to begin with, but I think this takes it one step further, and you're not worried about, okay, well, I need this guy maybe in 2 years because of my quarterback depth or wide receiver depth or whatever. Like, you just go play and you got 5 years. And I think that maybe brings the talent pool up a notch, right? Like, now you got guys fighting for positions a little better. Maybe in a sport like basketball where you've seen, you try to stash a guy or two, in basketball where state has done that. I just don't think you're worried about that anymore. You just go play the best 5, best 10, best 11, whatever your sport is, and you just go with it.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, big news for college sports. Again, it really addresses a lot of issues at one time, and also too from a fan perspective. Just it's just when did they get here? And add 5 years to that, that's the last year that they can play in college. And then we move on here. So, moving on here to our second big news though of the week. I know Ethan is quickly losing that brightness, my man. We're gonna have a black square here. Oh, there we go. In 1 second. Ethan, I know that you've been talking a lot about this. I know when we did our schedule breakdown too as well for in-state men's basketball. This was one of the games we were talking about in this home and home
Yeah,
series versus VCU. The two teams were scheduled to play next season at Siegel Center, but the Wolfpack have opted to buy out the agreement. So everybody right now, Ethan, as I'm sure you've seen on Twitter, is going, "What the heck is NC State doing buying out of this agreement?" They don't, and VCU fans coming at us saying, "Oh, they didn't want that smoke," So Ethan, give us some sense to this, my man.
I mean, I think the VCU people saying that would be right. I mean, I think this is completely
I
normal
agree.
um to see. Like, this isn't some weird situation or anything like that. Like, this stuff happens, and guys say, "Hey, I don't." It happens in football most notably, but it happens in basketball too, where you're like, I don't want to make that trip for whatever reason. I don't think we know that reason right now. I don't know that reason. Um, I know some people said, "Oh, they got to schedule another game." Man, they have 13 non-conference games. You don't have to. It's not a one-for-one proposition.
Mhm.
I'm sure there will be plenty of throwaway home games that they could have otherwise replaced. Now I'm sure there's a quota of number of home games that they want to hit, but I wouldn't be doing that at the expense of this game personally. So yeah, I mean, this is a game that would have tested you. Layton, you said we talked about it. You know, this is a game that would have tested you, would have made you better. And State, I'm sure they have their reasons, but it sucks. Sucks as a fan. You know, both for a cool game to go to, but also for, you know, evaluating your team. I've been vocal. I don't really think stacking wins really matters. I don't think the committee cares about that. I think they want to know who you play. So I'm bummed out about this one.
Yeah. Greg, what's your thoughts on this when you first saw the news break out?
Yeah, just NC State keeps kicking me in the big toe. I'll say it that way.
In the big
This
toe.
was a game. Yeah, well, I wanted to say something else, but um,
I don't think I've ever heard that before.
it's the best I could come up with and not use the word I wanted to use. Um, this was probably the closest, easiest game for me to get to on the schedule. It's 75 minutes from my house, and that would basically be a home game. I agree with Ethan. It's a good quad one, probably if not worse quad two. Early in the season, you can see VCU is a good road environment. It's one of those tougher mid major locations or environments. I also think that this schedule or this home and home was made with the previous coach who had ties to that school. And I think that, I don't know if Justin Gainey wanted to deal with that. Um, now
But why does
you
that
can say
matter?
I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there for conjure. Like if we want to talk about that, we can. Obviously, you wanted to, so um,
I don't know
I
what
don't mean
what
that
he has to
bad.
do with it. No, yeah, I just don't know, like, who
Well, I
cares
mean,
that
that was his old
it's
school.
scheduled?
I mean,
That's
like, he scheduled this, right? This was a Will
yeah.
Wade special. So maybe
Right.
Gainey, maybe it doesn't fit Gainey's scheduling philosophy like it does Will Wade. That's all I'm kind of just getting at here.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know why. I mean, Gainey's put together a tough non-conference schedule. He has.
Absolutely, and that's
And, you
part of
know,
it
when
too, right?
yeah,
I want
absolutely.
to be
And,
just. Go ahead, Ethan. Sorry, I cut you off.
like, one game doesn't change that, you know?
I
So
agree with
it's
that
not like,
statement
"Oh,
as
all of a
well.
sudden now this is a bad schedule." But it is like, okay, why would you back out of this game? I would rather, if you're talking about it from a metrics perspective, I'd rather back out of, like, the Ole Miss game.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Or,
because
I
I
mean, you
think
can't back
you
out of
get
South
more points for
Carolina,
a true
but
road game, right? Instead of a
right,
neutral, right?
right.
Yeah,
Again, you
and I
can't
think
back out
look,
of South Carolina, but
no,
that would be ideal. But
but I think
I don't know what the downside is. Like, I just don't get this one. I'd love to hear the reasoning from State.
well, I think
Yeah,
the buyout's a lot different, right? I think the buyout would be more against South Carolina than it would VCU. So if you got to choose
Yeah.
one, I think
Well,
VCU would be the cheaper option.
for sure. That's definitely true. I don't think buying out South Carolina is an option because that's the SEC
No, it's
challenge.
not. No, you don't.
But
You
the
don't.
Ole
You don't
Miss
get that.
game, yeah,
Right,
the
or
Ole Miss
and the
game,
Tennessee is non-starter because, that was a handshake agreement for Gainey and
Barnes.
yeah,
Barnes,
and
thank
Gainey
you.
scheduled that game. That wasn't a
Correct,
way, you know, so
correct, but I'm saying, but the South Carolina I mean, so not South Carolina, the Ole Miss and the VCU games were done on the previous regime, and so if you're gonna kick one, it makes sense to be the VCU.
Well,
Now, I will say, like, Richmond's only 2.5 hours from Raleigh, like, and you've got
yeah.
some alumni here in Virginia. Like, I felt like State would had a good, turnout for that game. Um, but I mean, I don't know. And I guess the other thing before we jump to too many conclusions is like, what are you replacing it with?
Mhm.
that
You
was
Or
my
know,
are you
question.
replacing it?
well, you
Yeah,
got to replace it somehow.
Mm.
I wonder. My personal thought is, and this kind of maybe it's not a good reason. Well, side note, Corey apparently has to. He knows the inside reason why he keeps innuendoing on his Twitter page or his X page, whatever it is. I'm like, I'd be curious to know what
Congrats.
he's implying there. But other than clicks, but to me, like it was a Q1 game, in my opinion. The coach there is like was listed as like one of the top young rising coaching stars, um, upcoming coaches in the I can't remember his name, but um, I know he's kind of getting some regard as being a really good coach at his young age there. I know that State's got a really tough non-conference schedule, and I just wondered if this was something that he was wanting to maybe do. I don't know. I do something sounds very softer, but I
But
don't know why he would do that. Because
but
it's
I
a
don't
Q1,
buy
you
that
don't really
argument.
lose anything. If you lose a Q1 game, you don't really lose anything
Well,
like
I
from
I
a
don't I just don't buy that argument because you look at Carolina a couple years ago, they scheduled tough. You saw State kinda
Yeah.
scheduled tough last year. Like, I don't think that
You
one
could
game
make the
makes or breaks.
argument.
Go ahead.
You
Yeah,
could make the argument. You're right, Greg. It doesn't make or break it. You can make the argument State made the tournament last year because of their non-conference schedule. And
100%.
again, it's not to say that this is going to be a bad non-conference schedule. I don't think it is. And yeah, maybe it gets replaced. I guess if those guys are right, we'll see. But you don't have to replace. Like you're allowed to schedule more tough games. There's not a quota on you can only schedule so many tough games. I don't think there's a home game coming. I know some people have brought that up. I don't think that's happening. I don't think it's being replaced with like a big home game. That would make some sense to me. If you were like, you know what? We're playing a bunch of interesting games away from home, but not at home, but not at not in Raleigh. To me,
Fair
that would
point.
make a little bit of sense. I don't, and maybe it happens, but I don't think that's the case. I think you're going to see a pretty soft non-conference schedule at home. And I mean, again, like you've already got half of the schedule, right? So you've got the two Baja Mar, you've got Tennessee, you've got Ole Miss, you've got South Carolina. Suppose you've got 8 more to play with. Supposedly there's one more coming. Like I said, if they're right. So then you've got 7. I'm guessing it's might be 7 bye games.
Megan, you got a final thought on this?
Clip that.
No, it is very interesting. I'm sure I imagine Gainey will maybe I wonder if he would talk about it because it's kind of getting at some point briefly just kind of say a little bit about it, but probably he won't say anything till maybe you'll just know until the next thing is booked. But I just didn't see it as like if you play that game, win, you get a Q1 win. If you lose a Q1 game on the road, nobody's kicking you for it. So I just didn't see what you're not gaining from playing that game. So um
And it costs you $200,000 to get out of it.
technically,
Like,
well,
we're not
yeah. I
even
mean,
talking
it's
about the
like
money. Like, I know it's chump change in the grand scheme
nothing.
of things,
It
but
is, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. Reporters have long-term memories. So I guarantee you which when it doesn't matter how long Gainey puts off his next press conference, I guarantee you at the next press conference, it's going to get brought up. Now, does he actually say anything? That's another thing, but he will be given opportunity to answer that question. That is for sure.